Hi everyone, if you're watching this video, then you are inside activity 5.4, and this is a little bit unusual, so I want to explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. When I looked at your responses to activity 5.3, I saw some interesting things happen that were kind of unexpected for me. So let me explain a little bit of what I saw. In this unit, we're trying to do a little review of parts of speech. So things like noun, verb, adjective, adverb. I want you to feel really confident and really comfortable with those ideas. And that's why I asked you to look at the student paper. You guys went in there like the wonderful students that you are, and you found lots of things that could be improved. You found lots of little errors and mistakes, which is great. What was the interesting thing that happened was that the errors that you found were not exactly the ones that I wanted you to find. So when there's an error in the part of speech, we call that a word form error. Like if you need an adjective and you wrote a noun instead, then you're close to the right word, but usually you need a suffix at the end, and so we say that's a word form error. Or the same thing if you need an adverb and you put an adjective instead, then usually you need to add ly. That's a word form error. Like you're so close, you have the root of the word, but you need to change some of those details of prefixes and suffixes. So that's what I was hoping we would find in this student paper. And actually there were some other errors in the paper that were not word form. And in the discussion, as they came up, I thought you would just ignore them and focus on the word form, but you focused on everything. So let me just explain the things that I found. So there was one error, I think it was on the first page, where the student had written that William Kamkwamba was an error with didn't. Okay, the sentence said the photo of the windmill didn't had any details. And you, the grammarians that you are, you knew there was something wrong there. So you said didn't had doesn't work. It needs to be didn't have. And that is a problem with form. That's actually the construction of the past tense verb there. So I actually call that a verb tense error and not so much a word form error. It's not a noun adjective problem, but it's a problem about how to make the past tense. So it was good. You found it. It was a problem and you identified it. There was one sort of spelling error. There was a sentence where it said his parents didn't have enough money, and that his was spelled H-I-S-S. So there were too many S's on that word. You pointed it out. There's a spelling problem here. We need to take out one of the S's. Super. There was another sort of issue where it said, Kamkwamba went to library to look the book. He went to library. And you guys, you heard that and you said there's something wrong there. It needs to be the library. He went to the library. So without the, something is missing. And that's actually something that I would call an article problem. So you need the article the in order for the phrase to be complete. So you found lots of really good problems in the students' writing, but most of them were not word form problems. And so the point of this lesson is to use those word forms in explaining, things that you want the students to do. I feel like we haven't quite accomplished our purpose here. So you guys did great the first time around. It wasn't your fault. I should have changed that student paper so that there weren't any of those distracting errors. But in order to accomplish our purpose, I want to go through this one more time with you guys. So in this activity 5.4, we're looking at the same paper, but I've made some edits, so there shouldn't be any of these other little tiny grammar mistakes. I've corrected all of the mistakes that are not word form mistakes. So in the first place, I think that problem will be solved. And then what I've done is that I marked in colors the specific mistakes that I want you to look at. And we're going to just do the same thing. Take one of those examples and see if you can figure out what's wrong with it. So not just say it doesn't sound good, but according to the grammar, what's going on, what's the problem, and according to the grammar, how do we fix the problem? And it's really important to me as you give your explanation, I want you to use these terms that we've been working on. Talk about nouns, talk about adjectives, whatever it is, specifically that's the problem. I want you to explain that. So I hope that's a little bit more clear. Thank you for your patience. Well, thank you for doing such a great editing job on the first one. And I think the second one's going to be a little bit more clear, more purposeful. So good luck with that. If you have any problems with it, just let me know.